Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Asagao Academy, where we're about to get kicked out of the Normal Boots Club. Probably.
Or we're going to get kicked out of the Cheese Academy.
I don't think they can kick us out of school.
I think they can. It's a private school.
Well, I don't think the Normal Boots Club can kick us out.
But Shane might, tattle on us, and then we get sent back home.
Could happen. All right. So, let's see how bad this goes for us. We wander to the halls of the boys' dorm, making our way to 402. The dormitory itself smelled awful, like stale Dorito chips. I wondered how I had never noticed it and realized that this was the first time I came on a weekend. Rather than wandering the campus all day for classes and clubs, most people were sleeping in or hanging out in their rooms. My slowed down as we climbed the stairs, staring at the floor. The closer we got, the slower we progressed. We opened the 4th floor door and crossed the hall. Finally, we stood in front of PBG and John's door.
You should, totally knock.
What?
What? Me? You should knock. You got here first. Yeah, but you're their, friend. Well, you know them better. Oh, but you got pink hair.
Is there a problem, ladies? We both froze. Sense of ham wafted through the air. Is it Jared? Because doesn't Jared smell like ham?
I think it's so funny that I thought I made that up, and apparently this was in this game.
Apparently it was already in there.
Jared.
I can promise we didn't know about that beforehand.
Good morning.
Hello, ladies. Is there something wrong with the door?
Oh, no, we didn't want to wake them up in case they were still sleeping.
Jared let out a low-throated laugh. I don't think they'd mind having you wake them up.
Ooh.
Mai's eyes almost rolled into the back of her head. Here, allow me. He leaned between us and tapped on the door. He was surprisingly tall, and being some 10 inches shorter than him, he towered over me. He looked down at me and winked. The door flew open.
Is it Shane?
Hey.
Oh.
Hey guys, glad you could make it. We'll be a bit squished in here, but it's better than nothing. What, we couldn't get the classroom this year? I jumped. Shane stood behind me, expressionless. I didn't even see him come. Yeah, turns out Hidden Block decided to book it the same day. Wonder what for? John snorted somewhere in the background. I'm not sure your room is better than nothing. Oh, Shane with the zingers. It wasn't a zinger. Are you just going to stand outside, or are you coming in? We stepped through the threshold, fully and completely entering PBG and John's room. Boy territory. We were out of our element. Maya had never been in the room before, and she glanced at the walls, shelves, and desks like a manic squirrel. Her eyes gleamed, and I had the sneaking suspicion she was making note of what she saw for her own nefarious purposes, though what they were, I had no idea. Rather, I didn't want to know. I still love the
Mario, the Duck Hunt thing?
The Duck Hunt poster.
What's up?
Wait, is that an are those supposed to be Xbox 360s back there? Or
I don't know. I thought they were in the girls' room, too. I was going to make that comment last time, too.
I didn't think of it until, I was looking here. I'm like, oh, I kind of see, the disk drive and it looks like the Star Wars one.
Mm-hmm.
Go on, take a seat anywhere. I looked to my left and saw boxers lying on the desk chair. Blood shot into my face. Were they used? PDG followed my gaze and turned red. Let me clean up a bit. Pigsty.
Do they have pigsties in England?
Everything in America is derivative of England.
But we're in Japan. That was clever. I didn't catch it until she said we're in Japan.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought anything of it. I love it. Shane looked at me blankly. Man, we're so lucky that... Is that supposed to be OE?
You.
OEU. Yeah, now I get it. Has 8-player stomp.
It's gonna be Smash Brothers. That's what that is. It's Smash Brothers, I bet you.
That would make sense, but it sounded like we were playing like Super Mario Brothers type game. I'm excited to crush you, Shane.
Sucks.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Hey.
Hello, guess who's here? Gerard entered without knocking, a bright smile on his face.
Hold on. What?
Aw, man, Shane got here before me. Did you fail to see me leave?
Yeah, whatever.
I was hoping you were using the bathroom or something. We brought extra controllers.
Does nobody knock around here?
No, why would we?
To be polite?
Girls and their ridiculous social constructs.
Which would be more funny coming from Josh.
Right.
What?
An intricate knot clattered through the entryway, and I pointed towards the door in defiance.
See? Someone knocks.
Good morning.
Hello, I brought bagels. Figured we didn't want a repeat of last year. My stomach grumbled and she turned red. That's what I thought. Ah, that's my husband.
What?
What?
You're perfect.
You're the best partner anyone could ask for. You are truly the best of us. Can't you just ask for one normally? I brought enough for everyone. Jared leaned his head against Satch's shoulder, then turned to whisper into his ear. I knew I could trust you. Okay, well then, everybody pick a seat. We'll hand out bagels and then we'll get started. I scuttled to the side of the room against PBG's bed and next to my... We'd been sitting with him at lunch, but it wasn't until just now that I realized how crazy having all the normal Boots guys in one room could be. 9 adolescent men in one room. Not to mention all friends, all part of the same club. Their personalities mingled in different ways, and I almost couldn't focus over the myriad inside jokes, shouting voices, and flailing limbs. That is, until the character selection screen came on. In the blink of an eye, the controllers were gone. PBG glanced over at me and noticed I didn't have one, offered me his.
No, really. I'm not good at these kind of games.
There's no way you're worse than me, or Jimmy for that matter. Seeing as he didn't want to take no for an answer, I grabbed the controller and selected my character. Turby.
Turby!
He was cute and bouncy, even though he didn't seem to have super powerful. He looked like an easy enough character for a beginner to grasp, although there was something in the eyes and beak that seemed a little...
Yeah.
Is everybody ready? I swallowed hard, the controller already slippery from my sweat. I never played Stomp before, though I watched others do so. I looked at the buttons on the controller, trying to guess what button did what. One of the top buttons probably jumped. Obviously the analog stick moved the character. They selected a stage, something with cute little houses and smallish animals blooping about in the background, and the countdown began.
Animal Crossing!
No. There were buttons on the back that clicked when you hit them, but I didn't know what they did. 3. Oh, there's a weird blue button on the top right, but not the left. But this is kind of like the GameCube.
Yeah.
Isn't that the one that had the L and R, and then it had the Z button for some ungodly reason?
So it's the Wii U with the GameCube controller.
With the GameCube controller, which makes sense. I mean, that's typically what you used on the Wii and the Wii U.
Yeah, that's true.
Those other controllers, aside from the Pro, were basically garbage.
They were all garbage.
Like that classic controller. What was that?
I don't even know.
All right.
There, anyways.
Back to the game. 2. And another analog stick? Was that for the camera? How could we all control the camera at once? No, it's your smash attack. Or stomp attack, as it were. 1. Oh no. Oh, that's you.
Oh no.
I thought that was going to be narrated. Go! Die, Shane, die! What the hell? Attack everyone, not just me. But you're my mortal enemy.
What?
Josh, what was that for? I wasn't even fighting you. You're wide open and death waits for no one. You're next. The battle began, and in a display of slight mercy, the boys left me alone to wander the field and get a sense of my character.
Oh, that does jump.
I hit the jump button again, and again, and again, watching my character float higher and higher towards the sky.
I can fly!
My joy was cut short as a Noki ball emerged from nowhere and pegged my pink blob in the eye. Oh, I get it. Turbo's Kirby.
Yeah, you didn't get
Kirby.
that?
I didn't realize it was Turby.
Yeah, it's Turby.
Turby is Kirby. I think because of the Turb part, I was expecting Sonic, like speed, but Turby is Kirby. Makes more sense. I fell off the side of the screen, and despite trying to jump back up, it wouldn't let me.
Why?
Turby can kind of hover for a while, but eventually he gets too full of air and has to land. Otherwise, he'd be OP.
Oh.
When in doubt, down B.
Down B?
In the commotion of the match, curses and death threats mixing with the clack of controllers. Nobody was listening to what Nick was saying. The key to getting someone to hear you in this commotion, it seemed, was shouting their name at the beginning of your sentence. Gerard! Satch! I frowned as my pink little blob fell back onto the map. Following Nick's advice, I hit down B. A cloud appeared around my pink guy and he became a rock.
What? I don't understand.
What would a rock do? I repeated the move multiple times, always turning into a rock of some sort on the ground, never hurting anybody near me. Suddenly, an explosion rocked the ground and Turby flew into the air just as I hit down B.
No!
To my surprise, he formed into a rock and fell directly onto John's head. His Nario was sent flying off the screen and died.
She's so in shock.
You're on my shit list.
I'm very sorry.
It didn't take long after that for me to die 5 pitiful, painful deaths. But as my little Turby stumbled off the screen for the 6th and final time, a small surge of pride hit me. I killed John. The Jontron. Even if by accident. I handed my controller to Mai and sat back, completely satisfied. If it weren't for the fact that it was Mai's turn, I'd jump back in, eager to find other strategies for murdering my friends and potentially storing up a hit list a mile long. So this was the joy of games. After playing a few rounds, the official tournament started. People played one-on-one matches against each other, slowly thinning out the competition over time. Mai went before me and was, rather unfairly, paired against Jared. Every single blow he doled out to her was, in her mind, some form of actual physical contact. At least, judging by the way she shivered when she was hit, it was. Unsurprisingly, she died almost immediately. I was the last person, set to go against PBG. The others chuckled as we were past the controllers. Don't worry, Hana. PBG's the easiest of all of us. You're bound to beat him. Aw, come on, guys. Don't worry, Hana. I'll go easy on you. I nodded as PBG picked the most level playing field, a small platform floating out in space. The match started and PBG graciously held his players still. Go ahead, test your moves.
You're a great friend.
Aw, that's real nice of you, PBG. Yeah, real nice. I tested my moves, and while doing so, my hand brushed against the yellow stick. Turby did a menacing low kick and my eyebrows raised. That looked powerful. Ready to go?
I think so.
PBG charged at me across the screen, and when he came close enough for me to hit, I pushed the yellow stick in his direction. He flew across the screen. My mouth fell open. PBG grit his teeth. I see how it is. No more Mr. Nice Guy then. I personally doubted that PBG had a non-nice bone in his body, but the match had begun. It was a long battle, a surprisingly long battle. We seemed to be evenly matched right up until the very end when I smashed him off the screen with Kirby's hammer.
Nice.
What? I set the controller down quietly, not particularly happy about having crushed PBG in my second match ever of Stomp. PBG nodded solemnly. I guess I lost then.
Whoa!
Damn, Hana, that was some natural-born talent right there.
I don't really think so.
And anyway, the next match is Shane versus Paul. PBG remained quiet for a while after that. It wasn't until the third round that he joined in again, cheering with the rest of the guys. My match rolled around, but this time I was against Jared, and this time I lost in only a few minutes. I set the controller down again, happy to no longer have the responsibility over the life and death of inanimate pixels. As I did so, I saw Paul lean in to whisper something to Shane, whose eyes flew wide open. Then his face shut down. Over my dead body. Their eyes slid to me and I looked away. They were talking about me,
God, is she
weren't
gonna
they?
take PBG's spot?
Or do they need another competitor? And we're gonna be it. Because we're the main character,
Right.
as has been pointed out. I scooted over to Mai, feeling more comfortable near her than near any of the guys. We cheered for Jared right up until the very end. He lost to a supernaturally agile Shane, who was seemingly being fueled by the rage of 1,000 demonic toddlers. Everyone, that was a great round. It looks like we're in even better shape than last year. Well, all of us except PBG. That was uncalled for. Totally deserved. Anyways. I'm tired, so get out of my room. Please. He grinned broadly, not finding anything wrong with how he summarily dismissed us. Mai and I gathered our things and left the room with the others who, laughing and joking, dispersed in all different directions. Together, we shuffled home. We fell through the doorway exhausted, with barely enough energy to change into our PJs. Mai leaped onto her bed with a happy sigh.
Oh, Hana, I'm so glad you came to Asagao. I said it.
You did. I feel like having joked around saying it so many times, now you have it coming to you whenever you miss it.
As if this couldn't have happened without me here.
Mai shoved her face into her pillow and emitted a muffled reply.
Yeah, whatever you said.
I fell onto my bed, staring at the rungs that kept Mai and her mattress from collapsing onto me and smothering me to death in the night.
That was really fun. Video games are fun, Mai. Really?
She shuffled around on top of her bed.
I thought it was okay. It was passable. Don't know if I'd call it super fun or anything.
Really?
No? I loved it.
She chuckled.
Seems like you found your calling. I'm sure I have.
Above me, Mai yawned.
Let's just go to sleep.
Let's, totally go to sleep. I'm, exhausted.
Smiling, I got up and turned out our light.
Good night.
Good night, Hana. Good night, Mai.
Good night, Moon.
Children, what have I told you about the scooching? Come closer.
As the chill weather of early spring faded and warmth stretched across Asagao, I itched to go outside. With Satch's book in hand, I took to the streets. Then I almost messed it up. I messed it up in the first episode.
Asiago? Asiago, say it with me.
No, it's not Asiago. It's Asagao.
Jeez.
Cheese. Asagao cheese. Can we compromise and call it the Asagao Cheese Academy?
No. I like watching you say it wrong. It's funny.
That's it. So I will be holding auditions for new co-hosts next week.
He wishes. Where are you going to find talent like me for free?
It's true. Since many people realize how rare this moment was, most of the usual benches and grassy spots were taken. I kept walking until I came to the soccer field. There's a practice game being held, and PBG and his friend Jeff were running across the field. Being a skirmish, the bleachers were almost completely empty. Students scattered the shiny metal seats, but there was more than enough room for me. In one swift motion, practiced many times over in my life, I sat down, spun my backpack into the space next to me, and pulled out my book. I was nearly done with it, and I wanted to see if I could finish it today. It was due a few days ago, so I was under pressure. At a pause in my reading, I looked up to watch PBG on the field. A shock of color at the base of the bleachers caught my eye. It looked like some kind of metallic candy wrapper, and a pang of annoyance struck me. There's a trash can nearby. Why litter? But as I jumped down the steps of the bleacher and nearly slipped off one, it became clear that it wasn't trash. The colors changed as the angle of the light did. Is it Jared glowing? It was an iridescent purple figurine. Itty bitty and a kitty. Was it Gerard's? He was the only person I knew who collected them. I held it up to the nearest student, who shook his head. I was free for a while. Gerard was really into the IBK scene, so if it wasn't his, he'd probably know who it belonged to. One problem, I had no idea where his room was. Conveniently, at that moment, PBG ran off the field to get a drink. I approached him, holding the kitty in front of myself like a talisman.
Hey.
Hey, PBG, do you know Gerard's room number? I think he dropped this.
I held the kitty up again. It glimmered in the sun. Much like PBG just now, what with all that physical activity. Oh! Gerard was just here. It has to be his. I asked him to bring me my goalie gloves. I wasn't ready to take McJones' place today. His room is right across from mine.
Oh, great. Thank you so much.
Hey.
Hurry it up, PBG. PBG groaned. It wasn't much of a break.
See ya.
Gotta go. Good luck.
Jeff isn't part of the normal boots, is he?
No, he's hidden block.
That's what I thought. I couldn't remember.
He took a huge gulp from his water bottle, then poured the rest on his head and jumped back into the game. His teammates patted him on the back as he rejoined them. I placed the IBK into my uniform, Lilliputian pocket, and headed to Bluebell.
I don't know what that is.
It's supposed to mean like tiny. I've never seen it used as an adjective before. As I entered Bluebell House, a passing boy frowned at me. Was I even allowed to be here by myself? I shook my head. There was no time to be afraid. Today I had a mission. Just as PBG said, there was a door right across from his room. Was there not supposed to be?
I don't know.
I knocked and fished the IBK from my pocket. Shane answered the door, not at all pleased to see me.
Hi, Shane. How are you?
He was Gerard's roommate? Why, oh why was he Gerard's roommate? I tried to laugh to diffuse the situation, but it was weak. I felt like I was only making things worse. I didn't know what went on in Shane's mind. He looked at the IBK in my hands. Gerard should be back in a few minutes.
Okay, I'll just wait in the common room. When he gets back, can you tell him to try and find me?
I could read downstairs. Even if it took Gerard an hour to get back, I could keep myself occupied. Shane sighed and leaned against the door frame. I could tell him, but it would be much easier if he waited in here. He put his hand out, gesturing me inside.
All right. Thanks.
Oh my god.
Those cats are adorable.
Geez, I wonder whose bunk is whose.
Oh, I didn't notice I didn't have bunk beds in this one.
Oh, yeah.
Neat.
Very obviously, this is Shane's bed.
With the cats.
With the cats. I entered the room and stood smack in the middle of it. Shane plopped into a chair in front of what must have been his desk. I sat down on what I assumed to be Gerard's chair on the opposite side. Shane swiveled around and started to click something on his laptop. Seeing as he wasn't much for small talk, I turned to observing the room. Their room was, well, decorated, one could say. There were a lot of itty-bitty kitties, each arranged neatly with its brethren of similar design. Every empty space not filled with school-related objects was covered by the pads of cute little cat, or at least a sealed box of one. Even parts of Shane's shelves had IBK on them. I had to admit, it was kind of endearing. Something about the dedication required was sweet.
Hey.
Do you collect itty-bitty kitties too?
Not really. They're Gerard's. I don't mind.
I see.
It's kind of niche. I'm surprised you're into them.
Oh, no, I don't collect them. I just found this one on the side of the field. PBG said Gerard was there earlier, so I came to find out whether it was his.
My hastiness to disown the figure did not go unnoticed by Shane, who made a face at me.
If it's not Gerard's, you'll probably know whose it is, right?
It's probably Gerard's. I smoothed my thumb over the plastic kitty absent-mindedly. Shane returned to whatever he was doing online, and I conversed with the figure in my hand. Who's a pretty kitty? Who's a pretty kitty? You are. Gerard came back about 2 minutes later.
Hey, Shane.
Hey, Shane! And Hana? He held 2 coffees in his hands. Suddenly he turned pink. And what are you two doing here? Alone? Together? We're not doing anything. Hana was looking for you.
Really?
Really? How can I help, Hana? He gave a coffee to Shane and offered the other one to me. Here, take mine. I would have gotten you one too if I knew you were here.
That's really nice of you, but no thanks. I just came to see if this was yours.
For what felt like the 10th time in the last half hour, I displayed the itty-bitty kitty.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yes! Gerard almost dropped his coffee as he leaped forward. I lost this today. Where did you find it?
It was near the field. PBG told me you were there earlier, so I wanted to give it back to you.
I handed the figure to Gerard, who looked about ready to kiss it.
You're the best.
Thank you, Hana. Thank you. You didn't have to do this, but you did, and I don't know what I would have done without you.
It wasn't any trouble at all. It looked pretty rare.
They're special.
It's not as rare as you would think, but it's still very special to me. I'm so glad you were the one to find it. I shouldn't have been so careless.
Don't beat yourself up about it. What matters now is that you have it back.
Maybe zip up your pockets next time.
I promise.
You bet I'll take a load of precautions to make sure this never happens again. He placed it delicately on the shelf with other kitties that had the same iridescent properties. Gerard looked at me while I viewed his hard-earned assemblage.
Right.
Oh, duh, Gerard, you dummy. How rude of me not to at least introduce you to my collection. Sorry. In this room, I have 247 itty-bitty kitties of every shape and size.
Whoa.
All right, if he's gonna talk about all of them, we might have to do this in the next episode.
I know.
In fact, that's what we'll do.
Ooh.
We're gonna find out about the 247 itty-bitty kitties in the next episode.
That might take us 30 minutes to talk about said 247 itty-bitty kitties.
Hey, I'm not gonna complain. That means I get a free episode out of just talking about itty-bitty kitties.
I kind of want that smooshy looking purple one in the bottom left corner. It's cute.
Yeah, that thing is hard to argue with. I like the one. All right. I think that one might be my
the middle
favorite.
on the top row.
Yeah.
That one's cute too.
So you're talking about that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hard to argue with. Those are good choices. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video and want to talk more about itty-bitty kitties,
or cheese,
please like and subscribe and leave us a comment about itty-bitty kitties.
Awesome. I'm excited.
About for itty bitty kitties.
For itty bitty kitties.
We'll see you next time.